So today we are going to talk about low socioeconomic status and the graduation rate of eligible English learners. Why eligible English learners? Because some of these English learners that are now in the United States are undocumented English learners. And to do a study with them as they move into college and career, it's no longer possible. As DACA, the Dream Act that would allow those students to go to college and career will be done this year in 2018. It will not exist anymore. So DACA does not exist, so those students will not qualify to go to college and career. So that's why I'm going to look into the students who qualify to go to school, those who are eligible to go to school. Low socioeconomic status in the United States has to do with those poor people. And in the United States, we tend to be politically correct, that we call the mailman a mail carrier. We call the policeman a police officer, and we call our black population African Americans. So now we call poor people low socioeconomic status, just to be politically correct. So I will not use the word poverty because poverty in the United States is completely different from poverty in other countries. Being poor in the United States and being poor in Bombay, India is completely different. Poverty is different. But poverty is poverty. Poverty is not having. Poverty is waking up in the morning and not having food on the table because there's none. So I'm not going to use the word poverty. I'm going to use the word low socioeconomic status. But please, let's not be naive to think that poverty does not exist. Poverty is actually all around us. Poverty is everywhere. Wherever we turn, poverty is there. It is under a bridge in the city of Rockford, where families live right now, or under Wacker Drive in Chicago, or under the viaducts in downtown Chicago, that these families are living right now. Poverty is everywhere. It's at the shelters. It is for those students who are now having problems, even having a place to live. They don't have a home. So poverty is all around us. It is about those that I want to talk about. So poverty is everywhere. It's at a corner at Winfield Road or County Farm Road, where a person is with a sign asking for work. They will work for food. Poverty is everywhere, cannot be denied. But there is freedom through education. And these people that comes from other countries to the United States, to our school system, are looking for a way to break the chain of poverty through education. Education alone will not end poverty, but it will help. There are studies out there that says that if a country wants to better their economy, what they have to do is really educate their women. If that is true, can you imagine if we educate our English learners and allow them to go to college and careers? Our economy and then will be way better. Paulo Freire wrote, "Freedom is acquired by conquest, not by gift." In other words, we have to work for it. You're not going to just receive it. You have to work for it. Ruby Penn wrote that the reality of being poor brings out a survival mentality. And how true is that? So that's what I want to look into, to see if there is what is true about that? What is motivating these people to continue on, these eligible ELLs, to go into college and career? These people found freedom. On the right side is Swanee. Swanee is now the supervisor of a translation department at a large school district. She came to the United States in kindergarten. She actually had to repeat kindergarten because she could not speak the language. Today, she corrects English papers and makes translations into Spanish. Aganzi. Aganzi just graduated as valedictorian of his high school. He was the #1 student in the high school. He came from Africa, from a refugee camp in 8th grade, and has now graduated as the top of his class. In his speech, he talks about how is that possible. He didn't know what valedictorian was. He had to explain to his parents, what does that mean, is to be a valedictorian. Soraya. Soraya has become a very important manager of a large company in Aurora, Illinois. And at the bottom here is Maria. Maria is really the reason why I decided to write my dissertation. Talking to her years back, she said, oh, my teacher said that poor people don't graduate. And that struck me like, what? Poor people don't graduate? And I said, Maria, what grade are you in? She said, I'm a senior. And I said, what are you going to study after you graduate? She said, I'm going to go to nursing school. I want to be a nurse. And I said, see, Maria, poor people do graduate. So Maria is a low socioeconomic status student, so are the rest. Why my dissertation? My dissertation will talk about the impact of low socioeconomic status on the graduation rate of eligible English learners as they find freedom through education and they go to school after high school and become a successful story. The study is important. So it is important because others need to know that there is a future after high school. There is a future to going into college and career. I have decided to look into a design that has to do with correlation, a quantitative correlation design. I wanted to find out if the rate of high school eligible students at ELs is the same as general education or higher. The assumption it is that, I'll talk about the assumption in a little bit, but as I collect the data, I will look into a data collection that will tell me if that is true. So I will look into PARC data, SES data, the Student Information System data from the state of Illinois. I will look into eSchool data, which is a local data used by a school district. I will look into ACT scores and SAT scores and IIRC scores to find out the information that I need to support my research. There are limitations and assumptions that are taken into this. The assumption is the eligible low SES students are graduating at the same rate as general education or higher. I have to go find out. I'll let the data talk. The immigration status of these students cannot be revealed as it could complicate their legal status in the United States. That's a question that schools don't ask, and I don't want to put them in jeopardy or the district. It's personal. It's personal for Suwani, it is personal for Agansi, it is personal for Soraya, it is personal for Maria, and it is personal for me. What do we all have in common? We are all low SES students, including me. We are all graduating from high school and going into college and careers. It is personal. Our stories are personal, but it is personal because we have found freedom through education. Again, education alone will not provide freedom from poverty, but will help students to move on. It is personal. But I'll let the numbers tell the story. It is not just my story or Maria or Swani's story. The numbers will tell the story. The data will tell the story. I'll let the numbers tell. And then I'll use this information and hopefully someone will carry on and continue exploring the impact of low socioeconomic status on the graduation of eligible English learners. Thank you.